Oceans, jungles, cities, and villages. Everywhere is full of strange creatures just waiting for you to turn on your underwater camera or smartphone. You're on the Top Facts channel, and this compilation of videos consists of the most astonishing stories you could imagine. From a fish trapped inside a jellyfish to a monster from the fog. If it hadn't been filmed, you would never believe such things are possible. What you see is not a flying blanket, but a colugo or flying lemur, a species of mammal living in Southeast Asia. Yes, it is one of the strangest creatures on Earth. It looks like a fearsome mythical creature with its unusual voice and membranous limbs, but upon closer inspection, it is quite adorable. The kangaroo rat or ninja rat is typically found in the desert, and its jumps truly resemble those of a kangaroo. Snakes often hunt these rats, and throughout evolutionary history, kangaroo rats have learned to deftly dodge a predator's strike. Despite their small bodies, their legs are long and strong, and their reaction is extremely quick. Therefore, with a strong push, they can perform a complex maneuver at a height unreachable by the snake. This elephant was unlucky. Someone shot it right in the forehead, and the bullet got stuck inside. The wound was bleeding, and of course, elephants do not know how to deal with bullet wounds. So it approached humans in a very cautious manner and showed them the bullet in its skull. The doctors immediately took the necessary actions, extracted the bullet, and treated the wound for infection. Hopefully, the elephant safely returned to the wild. We are sure that turtles are the slowest creatures, but we rush to disappoint you. Sometimes they win the race. This is not a sped up recording, but a real sprint to the pond. Who knows, maybe this was the only one of its kind. The fastest turtle on the planet? Turtles can be so cute. Look at how they yawn underwater. Who knew that they could do such human-like things? Yawning for them is more like a way to get oxygen, but who knows? Maybe they too get tired from swimming all day and just want to lie down. This tiny turtle was born with an open heart, and although experts said its life would be short, the owner began to nurture the poor thing. He did everything possible to save its life because a heart not protected by a rib cage is incredibly vulnerable. A miracle happened. Now it has grown larger, heavier, and over time, healthier, all thanks to the endless effort of his father. If you think nature has nothing to surprise us with, look at this story. People think crocodiles are slow on land, just like turtles. But would you believe that they are capable of galloping like a dog or leopard? Now you'll see for yourself. Well, would you now dare to tease a little crocodile at the zoo? The bait that first attracted a giant alligator on the golf course turned out to be inedible. But the ball was stolen and remained lying in the open jaws of the alligator. Perhaps it mistook the ball for an egg, or just wanted to play a round of golf. The intentions of the ghostfish are absolutely clear, because it is literally transparent. All its organs, brain, and bones are indiscernible in the water. This diver encountered the ghostfish while diving in Malta and gave us the opportunity to admire it as well. The ghost shark is found mostly in Australia, and it is something extraordinary. They have a large porthole-like eyes and such faces that will surely appear in nightmares, and their slow glide in the depths is reminiscent of a dragon's flight. Since they live at great depths and belong to an ancient species, encountering them is not common ever for divers. Before you is not yet a bream, but a fish that no longer shows signs of life. It seems to be a goner, but as soon as it gets a little bit of water, the fish comes to life, and it looked completely dead. In fact, it is a plecostomus catfish, which resides in South America and can survive up to 20 hours without water, turning into a dried up log. But if you put it back in water, it immediately returns to its previous life, If only we could learn to overcome difficulties like this. You definitely wouldn't believe it if you weren't watching this now. A fish thrown ashore refuses to accept human help and jumps back onto the shore. Is that normal? Perhaps it has firmly decided to end its life or wanted to communicate more. Let's clarify right away that this clip is not fake. It was filmed in November 2019, and many were shocked by the fish with a human face. It was claimed that the video shows a common carp, and the similarity to a face is given by a specific angle. Anyway, the face is in front of us. These voracious predators with large heads, powerful jaws, and teeth as big as a cow's can be encountered in the secluded caves of the ocean. They are not in a hurry to take the center stage, and their appearance is such that only in a nightmare would they be welcome. But who said monsters don't exist? If you're curious about how sharp the teeth of a striped wolf shark or wolffish are, watch how they manage with a can or try to bite a fisherman. No kidding. Although they are not venomous, they rightfully bear their name. Killer whales are exceptionally intelligent beings. They not only learn quickly, but can communicate and understand the intentions and mood of people. However, with this killer whale achieved deserves applause. The fish was offered to her as a snack. She managed to exchange for a juicier dish, cunningly offering her ration as bait to the seagulls, and the live bait fishing strategy was crowned with success. The ocean is the most mysterious world on the planet. Look, why are these fish traveling in a bag? They just got trapped inside a jellyfish, which does not carry them for free. It produces deadly poison, and the fish simply dissolve in it without ever even noticing. Conclusion: don't get into transport with strangers. On a beach in China, a man found a strange sponge-like creature with an outline of a human body. He thought it was dead and decided to pick it up with his bare hands. However, the creature immediately showed signs of life. Look how it's moving its arms and legs. Could it have been a mutated starfish? A surveillance camera in northern Mexico caught a strange moment when hundreds of birds fell from the sky dead. A flock of yellow-headed blackbirds was heading south, and although some of them recovered from the fall, most remained on the ground. A zoo worker said that these birds were fleeing from predators, hawks or falcons, which had flown into the flock. Flock on flock, a bird version of street fights, probably brought this clump of birds down from the sky. Sometimes even bird navigation fails. This amateur video from an unknown source seems perfect for our collection. If we tell you that the huge bird is a living pterosaur, similar to those that inhabited the planet 228 million years ago, would you believe it? And do you now fully trust your own eyes? These prehistoric creatures became widely known thanks to science fiction movies and in the history of the life of the planet. They really were the greatest flying beings. But someone recorded this video, and we must draw conclusions. What if a couple pterosaurs did indeed survive? This video went viral on the internet in 2017, and people joked that the snake decided to dance on a pole. But no, it's just looking for food and using natural snake wisdom. We only assume that it's hunting for bird eggs, not a monkey, as the story does not continue. Do you often see obstacles in your way in broad daylight? A huge anaconda decided to cross the road on a busy highway, and people had no choice but to organize a corridor for it to cross the road. This happened in Brazil in 2019. But it's not every day you see a 13-foot-long snake weighing around 66 pounds sprawled across the road. India is famous for its culture, cuisine, tea, and combinations of bright colors. But most people don't know that it is also a place of strange cults. For example, in this clip, we see a man with a huge bag, and it turns out it contained hundreds of snakes, which he sorts with his bare hands. We are happy to inform you that he simply decided to release the snakes into the wild. So if you decide to take public transportation in India, pay attention to men with big bags. This spider jumps across the Moroccan desert, doing one somersault after another. How much energy is needed for such a fanciful movement? And if the spider needs to escape from a predator, it can accelerate 10 times faster. I wonder if it ever gets dizzy after continuous somersaults across the sand. Scientists have developed a robot that mimics the actions of a tumbleweed spider. But honestly, the spider is more impressive. The flying dragon lizard is the only true dragon, apart from the Komodo monitors. But this species can also fly. Don't be fooled by their small size. They might be tiny, but they can fly like a real dragon. According to scientists, thousands of years of evolution have provided these lizards with the ability to fly from tree to tree to find food, company, or escape from predators. Eels are often called sea monsters and creepy creatures, but this is purely an external impression. They are indeed dangerous to other marine inhabitants. But here's a story where a scary-looking moray eel behaves with the diver like a domestic dog. It didn't mind hugs and cuddles, didn't try to escape or attack. In 2016, this clip amazed people around the world. We thought fish were meant only to swim, not to travel on land. But it turned out that some species are capable of this too. We don't know where these creatures walked, but they felt the urge to return to the water, so they did so in a wobbly gait. That's how we might wait for the days when these fish will rule the land, and there will be nowhere for humans to go. Fish feel at home throughout the ocean, but never miss an opportunity to find a cozier apartment. These colorful fish went deeper off the coast of Qatar to inhabit the body of a sunken car. Everything that enters the ocean by artificial means eventually becomes a natural coral reef. Snails, slippery and wet, usually cling to fresh stems and foliage. But here we see a snail that is taking a liking to a carrot and eats it almost like a rodent. Probably it's tastier than grass. It's unlikely that such a diving tour can be sold at a diving center, but this camera captured an incredible moment when a diver found himself in the water alone with hundreds of tadpoles. Soon they will change the life cycle stage of amphibians and forget how to swim altogether. But some get such an unusual experience to be in the center of a biological process. Penguins, strange creatures, charming birds that cannot fly. They are not only fond of demonstrating a funny gait, but can sometimes engage in strange entertainments. Penguins simply love defecating, and they do it quite often, even on each other. In other words, this festival reaches such a scale that its consequences are visible, even to astronauts from space. Not only the phoenix bird is capable of reincarnation, but also a common seagull can perform such a trick to remain alive after it was practically eaten. People were trying to lure a tuna when this seagull decided it could easily steal a treat. The bird got carried away and ended up being swallowed. However, the fish was not in the mood for meat that day and spit the seagull right out. The bird immediately seized the opportunity to live a longer life. If monsters do not impress you, this story will change your mind. It is absolutely adorable and will lift your spirits. A man stopped his car when he saw a kitten in the middle of the road. It was desperately meowing and asking for help. The compassionate person got out of their car and picked up the kitten. But then he was overtaken by a wave of cats. From the bushes emerged an entire camp of homeless little kittens. who had hidden in the grass and sent a scout out to the road. Admit it, you don't receive such a gift every day. In the end, what was left for him to do? The man took all the kittens, fed them, took care of them, and found new owners for most of them. After this, say that there are animals slyer than cats. On a peaceful day on a cruise ship in the middle of the sea, it can turn into a dangerous voyage at any moment. When you see a huge chunk of an iceberg right at the ship's side, all you can hope for is the captain's ability to maneuver among the icebergs and to not think about the Titanic. A native plant of South Africa is called the dragon's blood tree. When they're cut or sawn, they exude something very similar to blood. Many believe in the mythical origin of these trees. Indeed, this spectacle is worthy of fantasy films, or perhaps it's nature's replica with a message: stop destroying the forests. Fog not only worsens visibility and increases the likelihood of accidents, but it's also capable of creativity. In June 2020, a resident of France captured these frames. The object in the sky resembles a huge centipede and moved like a living monster. This video was filmed from a place where the fog did not cover everything, but we can see that the phenomenon is real and it is moving. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments below. So, these were the most incredible moments with creatures caught on camera. If you liked our latest compilation and wish to continue watching our videos right now, especially for you, we have selected some of the most interesting episodes.